I challenged myself to really look at a project that would dive a little deeper into what we define in Rhode Island as domestic violence to include coercive control. I'm Jess, mom of 4 kids, ages 7 to 17. We are a military family who retired here, so we've been here since 2014 now, so going on 11 years. A little more information about myself is that I have done special education work for almost a decade now. I have a daughter who wasn't diagnosed with autism until she was 8, and she is almost 14 now. And before that, I had known something was different, but I felt like I went up against the school system, and it was a really difficult position to be as a parent. After navigating that and even not finding like-minded advocates that you can pay, I did a lot of research and time on my own, going to our neighboring states during 22 and 23 to learn the laws, and then in 2024 I did pro bono advocacy into 2025, helping other families that really needed support and their children had gone without fate for a long time. So for my community project, I did not stay in the field of special education because that is not an overnight project. It's not something, as RIPIN's familiar with, that is a easy crossroads that we're going to fix overnight. I challenged myself to really look at a project that would dive a little deeper into what we define in Rhode Island as domestic violence to include coercive control. I think it's important that our communities in our state, and especially those in decision-making roles such as judges, understand, and law enforcement as well, that fear isn't just a physical. I mean, it can be wrecking you of your job, it can be taking away your economic stability, it can be dragging you to court, and all those things are things I've experienced, and I know so many other survivors have as well, working through the coalition and being a part of SOAR. And so having that recognized and really putting that in the forefront and prioritizing safety for children and for survivors is so important. And I think that's a missed realm where when you go in and you ask for a restraining order, you can fear for your life, and that doesn't mean that you're just afraid of gun or knife violence, but you're also afraid of the repercussions of someone who is determined to go to whatever measure they need to ruin your life and to have that control over you and sabotage you. And that, again, falls into our litigation abuse bill that was passed. But I think a deeper understanding and knowledge needs to be defined in our laws to where coercive control is identifiable and it has all the different pieces on there that includes. And it really is anything that an abuser is willing to do to maintain that power and control dynamic. Even for the children, the coercive control is harmful emotionally with ACEs because that's what we've experienced. My experience with the PLTI cohort was amazing. I met people that are very like-minded that I would have never run across in otherwise a lot of settings. The interest, of course, we're all as parents helping their community, but in different ways, different types of advocacy. So I think it gives us too, that unity, that similar, we don't have to have the same stories, but the similarities in our stories of the passion to fight for not only our children, but all children. And it's not rocket science, it's passion, and it's the love for your community, love for other parents, the love and the drive and the passion for the experiences that, it'll either make you or break you, right? And so I think each of the things that I've been through in my life have all been very challenging, very hurtful, because when you're talking about seeing something happen to your child that's unfair, but then it's taking that piece, learning, and then sharing what you learn. And what I love about the PLTI program, and actually RIPIN as a whole, is that is exactly the core center passion of all of the things that you all do here, is that, and each employee, I've never met someone at RIPIN who wasn't that same passion I have. It's I went through this with my child and here's what I learned. And so when you have an organization and even the cohort that care so much about the people in that group and seeing them succeed, that's what makes it fun. That's what makes it challenging. That's what makes it an amazing program, is that you have an organization and a cohort that's supporting people who come in with their stories and how to take their stories, shape their stories, and make a difference in their community. And what I think is important to highlight is that the journey can be so isolating. And so this really brings us together. And like I mentioned before, you wouldn't necessarily find these, you know, like friends, because they become a network without the PLTI, without RIPIN connecting. So that's really the beauty of our experiences, is when you're able to utilize what you've been through to help other people.